Check, you guys.
Check.
Check.
Hey, everybody, it's the hybrid not so live show. Cheryl is here. Dave's here. I'm back.
We missed you.
Well, Cheryl missed me. Dave, I know, did not miss me.
I missed you, but it's just nice for Cheryl and I to cut loose a little bit every now and again. You gotta shake off the shackles of oppression.
I'm very oppressive. I'm like the heat in England. I'm oppressive.
Yes.
No, I listen to you guys. I rather enjoyed it. I can tell you, I was like, ooh, this is nice. The pressure's off. I'm just enjoying this show. I don't have no pressure whatsoever.
Yeah. It's nice sometimes to sit back and just listen and not be and then you can argue in the car with yourself and just go, no.
Well, that's my question is, did you have any opinions that you would have liked to have chimed in on that we said?
Well, now it's been a fucking week since I listened, so I couldn't tell you. I mean,
okay, bottom line, are you interested in doing a Deca relay with me?
Oh, yeah, the Deca relay. So, oh boy. So I messaged Cheryl because I couldn't believe what I was hearing, actually, because I couldn't believe that one would want to say any 4 members can do a station. That to me, I thought you said it wrong. And then Cheryl was like, no, that's okay. So I don't know why it wouldn't be any 2 at any given time, and maybe all 4 run the first and last. That makes the most sense logically. That makes the most sense physically. What's the word I'm looking for? Spatially.
Logistically.
Thank you. Logistically. So that seems insane to me, and I don't know why he would do that. I mean, we joke about this NASCAR idea, and you said, well, the Braves would be smaller. I'm like, okay, well, we're not going to have a ton of people doing this anyway, so that did seem especially silly. I guess my question for you, Dave, if you can speak to it, did you push back on this, like discussing this, and what did he say? If you're allowed to say what went on in secret Deca meetings.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go too deep, but I mean, I did, as always, I did have different suggestions, right? We always have different suggestions. I was not as closely involved in the production of this as say I was with Atlas. Right. So, but that said, so the reason for the 4 people in the zone is because they've doubled the distance. So they think it's more. I don't. My thing that
you've doubled the distance, so now use 4 times the people.
2 times. Yeah. So I mean, I'm kind of on a wait and see thing. I think there needs to be some more testing done, and we'll see how it goes. It's not what I envisioned when I first heard it, but that said, it can still be fun. We'll see how it goes and roll with it from there. I think so much is going to depend on like you say, volume of people and how what kind of access you're going to be, how much they will expand the zones and things like that. I think the reason they didn't just do 2 people in the zone, 2 people on the track is just, again, trying to keep track of who goes where then becomes very difficult.
Why does it become difficult?
Well, because if I'm a judge and let's say you and Cheryl are running and you have 2 other partners and you and Cheryl are on the run, but you're not allowed to be in the zone, and then I kind of have to enforce that. That's another thing to enforce. Whereas if any one of you can be in the zone, can be working, I don't have to worry about that. It's just 2 people have to go run. I don't care what 2 people it is.
How?
Right.
I disagree with that statement.
How so?
Because Deca's so small, you would be an idiot to try to cheat. I mean, I don't think you could possibly be like, "Ooh, we're gonna sneak these people in." Like, it's, you know what I mean?
Okay, so not everybody cheating is cheating on purpose. And this is something I've discovered, and I'll tell you guys. So we were at one event, and you guys know the whole formula for relay for Deca teams, for doubles normally, two person team. You run together on the first 500, you run together in the last 500. I can't tell you, I was standing at the burpees, how many people would come in the burpees. I'm like, where's your partner? Oh, well, they're running their lap without me. And I'm like, no, you got to go. So not everybody who cheat, and so as the judges and stuff, we have to kind of try to keep track. And so that just adding that extra wrinkle would make it a little more difficult to keep track.
I'm still saying it could be any two. It could still be any two. It just can't be four. It doesn't have to be these two. It could be any two.
Yeah, but then you're having to keep those other two people outside as well, and then they're going to wait right in the entrance and exit area. At least when they're all in there, they'll kind of shuffle up.
Shouldn't they wait in the
relay zone, the handoff zone?
Yeah, isn't there a handoff zone, or is that only Hyrox?
Well, if you think about it from like the regular doubles perspective, you're doing your handoff when you're done. Like if you're done the rower, you don't go running out of there and tag the person in the relay zone.
All right, well, maybe they should add a relay zone. What if they added a relay zone, like Hyrox has?
Well, we talked about that, but
we talked about that. You would then it would be and that's a legitimate concept, but then it's a completely different setup and a completely different race, because now all of a sudden you're only having one person on the track at a time.
I guess as much as you and I, and let's just call it the hardcore fan, right? The multi Deca gym event attender a year, the multi Deca person a year, Dustin Needham, Amber Tate, like the real hardcores love this idea. Should Deca be fucking with it at all, considering we just want to get Deca better as a sport and as an event, or should they keep adding Atlas and relay and this and that? I guess that's kind of the thought I'm asking from the macro.
I think that's a great question. And I guess time will tell, because I mean, there are things that we're working to, like, and me personally on the side, I mean, I have a very limited area of influence, right? So there are things that I'm trying to help fix and that to make better, and I think we've done a lot. But the question is, should we be adding on another one? I don't know.
I mean,
that is a very debatable and legitimate question.
Cheryl, I think, has talked about how we want to support Deca. Yancey might take this the wrong way, but it's kind of a little engine that could, in many ways, right? It doesn't have the...
I don't think he would take that wrong way. I think
he doesn't have the backing that he would like. He certainly doesn't have the backing that Hyrox has, or the money they put into it. So if that's what we're going to do, let's not confuse the issue, because again, you're talking about a niche on a niche, and and I forgot the ultra, another new-ish thing we're doing. So what do you think, Cheryl? Do you agree with what Dave said or what I said?
I am currently binge watching The Bear, and I don't know if you did or if you have, but I have. There's the episode, spoiler alert, where the sandwich guy has hired a mentor to make the sandwich, thing grow as best as he can. And the mentor finally says, you don't need to think big. You need to think small, right? You stick with the sandwiches. You stick with what works. And then the mini franchises work, right? And that's what I'm thinking of is.
And we don't know if that's going to happen. By the way, to not spoil, that's just an idea that's presented in the show. It hasn't been actually launched. I can't believe you launched right into it. I thought you'd give people a pause when you're going to do a spoiler.
She said spoiler.
A slight pause, because listen, The Bear is an amazing show, and I would love to know your takes, Cheryl. Are you watching The Bear, Dave?
No, not yet. I'm so far behind on so many other things, like so many other shows.
All right.
Well, I even
really quickly, Cheryl, did you finish?
No, we just got done with the wedding episode last night, so I haven't finished yet. So I'll talk to you when we finish, which will be this week.
Okay, we should definitely speak.
Yeah, I think the concept. Look, Deca is such a fun race, right? And the community is so fun, and to perfect that would make it a juggernaut, right? It wouldn't be the little engine that could anymore. It would blow up. I think people would have a great time. And, you could do a trifecta weekend where you had strong, mile, and fit all going.
Why don't we just do that? How about we just do that like the Spanish do?
There's so many things that they could do with just the product that they have, which is excellent. And I would love to see that. That being said, I was surprised, right after Dave and I talked, I feel like people listen to us, you guys, because Yancey comes out with this great video, and he's got the whiteboard, and he's showing, these guys go out, and they're, he's explaining it all, and it ends up on, the Facebook group, which I love watching. And the response was people are really excited about this. And you're right, they're the Deca hardcore, and how many of those ultimately are there? But maybe we just see things differently. I would love to see the product perfected.
I think that would be my, if I were put in charge, I think that's what I would do. I would say strong and mile Saturday, fit Sunday, or vice versa. If you're going to do 2-day events, rather than 87 people want to run an ultra on a Sunday and get 500 people that want to do strongs and miles, or 1,000.
I can actually explain why he doesn't do that here and why they do it in Spain and such, or at least what I'm told, because I've asked this same question. So in Yancey's mind, and it's a very valid point, he does not want to diminish the strongs and the miles that are done at the gyms. So he wants those to be of value, and those.
Why would it be diminished if you put on 10 a year or 8 a year, whatever the events are?
I'm just saying that's the logic behind it, right? I'm not going to argue for or against or strong enough, but I'm saying that's his logic behind it, is that he doesn't want to diminish those events. He wants those brick and mortar gyms, as he likes to say, have that value and not have Deca HQ impede on that. Not have them offering something, that.
But I'm saying that they only do.
That's the logic.
But there is no. I'm sorry, but that isn't logical. There are 8 events. There are 40. How many weeks are in a year? There are 52 minus 8, right? There are still that many weeks a year to put on a strong and mile. You can't say, oh, they're putting a strong on in Charlotte. I can never do a strong in my gym.
No, I know, but that's where they're coming from. That's where they're
pointing. They could easily make those events on the DecaFit weekends regional championships, which I think would be super fun. Send through age group waves who have qualified. I think that would be amazing, and I think.
Now you're really talking. I'm just saying doing it, period. Now you're adding this whole other piece that actually is quite genius.
That
and
standardizes the course.
And gives the gym something to send their people to. Hey, do our event, and then you can do the cool regional championship.
Yeah, there's nothing cooler, in my opinion, than the Deca Strong Worlds setup. It's the funnest thing. And if they did that every DecaFit weekend, I think that would be incredible. Where people then, that's the standardized course that then would catapult you to qualify for Worlds.
The first person I heard float that idea was Heather White. And it was probably like it was before Atlantic City. And it was so it is a decent idea and I don't know if they felt they were ready for that yet or had that much interest or not, but I always thought it was kind of a cool idea too.
Super cool. Heather White's a genius. She's the one that recommended my hotel shoes that I ended up getting.
I know nothing of hotel shoes, but I do believe Heather White.
Matt discussed hotel shoes with me, and she was the one that told me what brand to get, and I ended up getting some Ofus. So yeah.
Well, I wear the fake Crocs, the canes, which are making their way across whatever. That's what I wear for my hotel shoes.
No, and all the cool kids wear those things, but yeah, I got the Ofus and I love them.
I got Under Armour flip-flops with the Michelin tire grip on the bottom. My grip flops.
Boy, we're solving all the problems today.
Listen, I just had to travel to the UK, and I had to bring multiple pair because I got to wear a pair on the plane, and I had to wear a pair to run my World's Toughest lap in, and then you need another pair in case your the lap shoes get super muddy or wet, right? And of course the hotel shoes, which just save everything.
No wonder you're so tired.
When I travel to Deca events, I could go with just the personal bag, except that I'm bringing 3 pairs of shoes. And that's what gets me every time. And hopefully I'm bringing home more than I brought there. So
high maintenance.
Hopefully I can win stuff.
Okay.
Well, I know we're going to talk about events selling out, but I want to talk about I meant to mention this last time we talked, I think, but I put it in the notes this time, and that is we talk about where fitness racing is in the world, in the zeitgeist, and once upon a time if I said to a person, you know, do you know what obstacle racing is? And they would say no. And I'd say, well, do you know what a Spartan race is? And they'd say no. And then it got to a point where they would like, yeah, I've heard of that. Or yeah, my cousin did that. Or yeah, I've done that. Right. And so I was at a coffee shop a couple months ago when someone saw me editing video and said, is that CrossFit? And I said, no, it's Hyrox. And we had a little chat about it. And they had heard about it. And then in the coffee shop that I go to, okay, which is this Costa near me, the woman said, I was wearing my Hyrox shirt, and she said, do you do that to me? And I didn't know what she was talking about. And I was like, do I do what? And she's like, oh, well, your shirt says Hyrox. And I was like, oh, yes. And such. And she says, oh, well, there's a girl here who's doing one. And I go, oh, you mean the one that was just here in Atlanta? It's like, no, she's going to Dallas. So sure enough, the next time I was in the store, I saw her and she said, oh, I heard you talking to so-and-so about it. So we have passed some kind of Rubicon of a regular person that I didn't see them in a gym. I didn't see them on a run from my coffee shop. Hey, I want to try this thing. I heard it was cool. And that didn't happen, 6 months ago.
Well, that doesn't surprise me because 6 months ago you could get tickets.
I
have a guy at work. I have a guy at work whose wife did the Hyrox in Toronto and has gotten into it. And this was not through my intervention.
Right. But there was none of those people. So we're at a point where it was none of those people. Now it's some people, and pretty soon it'll be everybody's like, oh, like there's no one that hasn't heard of a Spartan race at this co-working place, whether they've done one or not. They fucking heard of it. And we're still at the point where not everyone has heard of a Hyrox, but we're getting there, right?
Yes.
So the first thing I want to talk about is no one has made it clear to me, certainly no one at Hyrox has made it clear to me what percentage of tickets are released in these affiliate-only pre-sales versus volunteer pre-sales versus tickets. So when people say, I went to try to get tickets today on the general sale and they were sold out, is that because they already were all sold out, or that's just because they were too slow on the trigger on the day to the general public? My thought was they certainly didn't sell them all during the pre-sale. Do they accidentally sometimes sell them all during the pre-sale? Do either of you know anything about this?
The people that I have talked to about it cannot give me a straight answer, or are unwilling to give me a straight answer, one or the other. From my experience with Toronto, I would guess, I do not have information to back this up, that either they sold more than they were planning to on the pre-sale, or they sold all of the things on the pre-sale. Because the day after, I got my tickets with a lot of work. The day after, I got on very quickly, no hassles, and stuff was already sold out. Right. I got on right away, like immediately on opening.
Right.
So I think whether it happened intentionally or accidentally, I would believe it happens unless told and possibly proven otherwise. But I think there's a great majority let out on the pre-sale. I think they need to completely retune how they let the affiliates have codes.
Well, geez, listen, I mean, for fuck's sake, we partnered with literally every single F45 gym. Mm-hmm. And literally, there's another gym called BFit, which isn't in this country, but in these other countries. So when tickets go on sale, a gym, a fitness, a more hybridish gym that has a ton of members that want to go has the same shot as the, 8,000 F45s gyms that have one person that gives a shit about going, but that has that link and that can send that link to their friends and gets out and whatever. So, I mean, the idea that anything is a unique link is pretty, that doesn't exist in 2025. So this idea of this is what your benefit is kind of silly. And at this point, they should just open it and be done with it because it just kind of doesn't matter. So I got an email that said, oh, Boston's on sale in a week, right? So if I'm a smart rat, I know that means the affiliates are getting it 48 hours before, and I contact an affiliate I know and go, can you try to get me a ticket or can you give me the link? And I'm off. And so that's everybody because nobody's not that smart. Everybody knows to do that. So I don't understand it at all. I also don't understand. I still also don't understand the idea of people that said, "Well, I get on the live link on the general public sale 2 hours beforehand, and then when it opened it, I got on at 8, and at 10 o'clock I got in." And then there's someone that's like, "Well, the countdown took me all the way down to 0, then kicked me back out to 5,000." So I want to know, like, is this a Vivendi issue? Is this a technology issue? Like, is there anybody out there that has any clue on how this shit actually works?
I haven't heard a thing.
This is me asking for the listeners as well.
Right. It is really discouraging and frustrating to me.
I was told again, I had that happen to me at Toronto. Matt, you and I were both trying to get tickets at the same time for Toronto, and we both suffered that fate. I was told that it was a glitch, that it was a technical error.
But it happens at every city, though.
It seems to happen everywhere. So, I mean,
I think Toronto, there was something with that pre-sale link that they fucked up.
There was a problem. The one thing that did happen, and they acknowledged this with Toronto pre-sale, was the F45 link worked, and none of the other affiliate links worked.
Oh. Yikes.
And that was a big problem, obviously.
Right.
So that there was that issue, and then from there, the bouncing in and out and around, and you know, they've never really been clear as to what happened.
But I've seen that myself. I tried to get, I don't know if it was London or Glasgow or something, I tried to get once, and I watched that happen. And I was doing multiple devices and multiple windows, and I did everything from getting all the way down to 0 and it kicking me back out, to getting down to 0 and it just saying sold out, to getting all the way down to 0 and showing me that the categories were sold out except for adaptive. Like, I've seen all of them for the same race. It should be binary, right? Yeah. We should all be going to the same place. And if it's luck of the draw and fastest finger and you get it or you don't, that's fine. But it shouldn't be a different experience for a different browser and a different IP address.
My impression with Dallas, I had a code for Dallas, and so
was it ORM 25?
No, it wasn't. That doesn't work.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah. So unfortunately, they kick you out immediately if you have that one.
Exactly.
All the small people.
It's an instant 2-year ban.
Exactly. So no, I had a code, so I thought I'm just gonna see what happens that Monday. If I wanted to get tickets, and it was smooth as silk. I had no problems. If I wanted to get a ticket, I could have gotten a ticket right then. And then the day of the general sale, I went ahead and hopped on to see, and the first time I tried it, I was like number 2,354 or something like that. And then I popped off because I'm not planning on going to Dallas, but then got on later that day and it just said everything's sold out. And it felt like, at least for me, it felt like Dallas worked how it was supposed to, that they had a certain number of tickets for the affiliates, because the second day when I logged on just to see how it was going, that was all sold out. The pre-sale was all sold out. So they had obviously a number of tickets for those of us who had the code. And then the day of, I know people were able to get tickets. So it seems like that's how it's going to work. I just think you're either going to get a link, and you better get early on that too, to be able to get it. And then you better get lucky on the general sale, because I don't even know how many of those they have left. I saw 2 social media trends the day of the general sale, right? The first one was, and this happened like the day or 2 before the general sale started, people saying, "Hey everyone, I'm new to Hyrox. Should I race in Chicago or Dallas?" And I just didn't even want to tell them what they were signing up for. You know what I mean? Like, just they think they have a choice. You know, good for you. You keep trying, right? Little engine that could, right? The second trend was the one that was more discouraging to me. And it was people who saying things like, "Hi, I'm registered for my first race in Dallas. Running will be what I need to work on the most." So, you know, like, here, Lauren Griffith is like posting throughout the day that she cannot get a ticket. And yet there are people who don't run who have been able to get tickets. And for those of us who work at this, that's tough. Like, that's hard to hear. Just don't tell me, right? I'm happy for you, but it's just not easy. I don't think that this, for me as an athlete, I was planning my race calendar and now I don't trust any of it. And that's really, really discouraging.
What about the idea, and I know England tried this and then it went away, but what if every race was like the Boston Marathon or not Boston, New York Marathon,
Lottery.
and you put it in, and if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. And we announce and again, try to announce some uniformity with that. We will announce 6 months or more in advance. We will put on sale 5 months more in advance. Because that's the other bit, is like, wait a minute, like I had no clue Atlanta was going to happen, and it still might not. It could have been a goof, but it looks like there's an Atlanta date in October, right? And so it's like, oh, should I train for this race that they're going to at some point tell me is about to happen?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. When you say about comparison to the marathon, if I was training for a marathon and I wanted to go to Boston Marathon, I would train for it. I'd train for it. And it's a lottery system, like you say, right? Great. If I didn't get in, there's other marathons I can do.
Right.
So my training hasn't gone to waste.
Right.
If I'm training for, let's say, and this is a situation that is happening a lot right now, and this is scary shit because it could really be a big problem in the future. If I'm training for Hyrox and I'm training for Toronto because I can't afford to go all over the world to do this. And there's a lottery and I don't get in the first year. And then I train all year and I don't get in the next year. You know what? I'm done. I'm out.
But Dave, Dave, can I interest you in Sao Paulo?
No.
Can I interest you in Abu Dhabi?
Yeah, no.
How about Yokohama? There's plenty of races this time of year over the other side of the world.
Exactly.
Why are they being so secretive about the US dates? Just tell us when you're going to have the races, because I think it'll help us all relax and we won't pile on Dallas.
But
why would they Boston at the same time? Give us Atlanta. Give us, if there's going to be a Vegas race, if there's going to be, show us when the races are this year. And then maybe we won't freak out and all jump on with this scarcity mindset onto one race when they open up the tickets.
But why would they do that? They want the scarcity mindset. They want us buying the tickets within an hour.
They're still going to sell out. It's not like they're not going to. It's ridiculous.
You might know that, and I might know that, but this is their logic, right? This has always been their logic. They've done this the whole time, right? We wait until here, and then we announce the next one because they want to make sure that first one gets hit hard, and the people who are maybe considering not going aren't going to wait.
Yeah, but it's causing them more problems. Do you have any emails?
I know. I agree. Do
you have any emails they probably get from the girl who I just need to start working on my running? The 20,000 other people like that who have no clue that a group exists, that this show exists, who are just like, oh, I've heard this cool fitness trend, and I can't. What do you mean it's sold out? And when's the next one? And like their inbox is just full. But it's not just the U.S., Dave. They don't announce anything. We don't know when the spring major is. You know what I mean? Like they do this for the whole world.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, in the past, this is the reasoning that I've heard they do it everywhere where they do it. I don't agree with it, but that's the reasoning that I've heard. Is they don't want to. They want to make sure they get this one taken care of before they announce the next one down the road.
The furthest race you can register now for is December 21st in Stockholm, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there are other races. So you've got an Anaheim race in December, right? I can't buy tickets for. An October Atlanta race that we think may go on sale. A Chicago race that is not on sale yet, right? It makes no sense. Like, at least have some sort of uniformity. If something's on a website and it says coming soon, it just doesn't make any sense. And it can't be that they don't have the venues locked in, because there's no way they're doing that.
Yeah.
It's baffling and just really, really discouraging to me. I'm just trying to figure out how I can put together a race calendar that I can rely on and work on my own. And it's probably not going to be Hyrox.
I feel like people will be saying that, and then they'll not be able to resist, because we still don't know how this new system is going to work. It used to be you go to Rox Tickets or you talk to people and you buy the tickets, right? Like I was never worried. If I really want to do a race, I know the week of someone's going to sell. So how are Hyrox going to handle this? Like, here's our batch of canceled tickets for the last, like, when is that going to happen?
The new flex option that they're having.
Yeah. Like, for example, I'm not going to go to Mexico anymore, right? So that's going back in the queue. When is someone going to be able to buy that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And in the past, you're right. I mean, they'll just sort of throw a batch out and people can hop on it. And that has worked. Again, do I want to know 3 weeks before the race that I'm racing it? It would be nice to know before that. So,
but I also, like I said, could buy it from a friend or just post. But how are they? They have to do these new. Before they did it sort of randomly, but now they also. Did you see? Someone was saying like they only sold. We don't know this for a fact, but somebody said like, oh, they only sold one men's pro wave.
well, it was just a really narrow pro wave. There just weren't a lot of waves that went out. I think for Dallas, you're talking about?
Yes.
Pro men went from 7:40 to 8:30. It goes on Friday night, it goes from 7:40 to 8:30. So that's not a lot of waves.
When does it usually go?
Well, it's usually in the evening, but I think what they're saying is that if you're only letting people out for every 10 minutes, that's what? 7:40, 7:50, 8 o'clock, 8:10, 8:20, 8:30. So that's 6 pro men waves.
Okay. I also just clicked on the waiting list for Dallas, and it's a Google Doc. That can't be the most efficient way to do this, can it be? In 2025? Because I've seen that in certain cities too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just, I said a couple of weeks ago that I don't think they care about me, and they just don't. They don't need to, Look what they do. They just do what they want.
But then this is the thing. This is the mistake. I mean, we said this was Spartan did it. They stopped caring about you and they lost you. Not you particular, but people like you.
Mm-hmm.
And right now they're riding high.
Yeah.
But the people who, I've never run, but I'm going to go, they're going to go away.
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll come down to how many Cheryl Snows are left and how pissed off were they at being ignored, and will they come back?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there were, including the world champs, I'm looking at my numbers, it was 79 events last year and 500,000 people, 504,171. And we know that's going to go up, right?
Right.
So what was Dave's peak Hyrox timeline? Where are we at with that?
2026.
End of 2026.
Yep.
So not a chance. Not a chance. End of 2026?
End of 2026.
Especially if they still skip all these American cities.
We'll see.
Okay, so what's the solution?
Well, to me, I don't know how to. I mean, more dates is the only way to solve the overselling.
More dates, some uniformity of announcing for sure.
Yeah, stuff like that. But like, I don't think Hyrox considers it a problem right now. And that's, I don't think they can, like, right now they're selling out. They're selling out now. They're like, great, fantastic, awesome, it's good. I don't think they consider this a problem.
Right.
I think some people there do. I think they don't care as much as we would like. I wouldn't say they don't care at all.
They don't care enough to do anything.
I don't feel that. I'm not as disheartened as Cheryl is yet, but I'm not Cheryl. Cheryl is a competitive person trying to compete for worlds. Like, I have different interests, so it doesn't affect me as hard, but I completely see your point. You're like, I'm trying to plan my year. I'm trying to plan my life. Yeah. I travel. I spend my good fucking hard-earned money when I'm not being fabulous in Las Vegas, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whereas I'm just like, yeah, I'll go. Maybe I'll do it with my friend Matt Kemp in Toronto. Maybe I'll do it with my friend Matt Kemp in Boston. So like,
and if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
Yeah. So I do feel your frustration, but I do feel like they're solving so many. There's like, how many problems can they solve at once, right? And I do think like, they're trying to wrap their head around opening more venues, dealing with this fucking sleds. Like, there's a lot going on. I haven't lost hope yet, I guess is what I'm saying. I don't think they don't care. Like, in the same way that, like, we talk about, like, if Spartan cared, they'd put maybe some more money behind it. And I'm like, well, that's never going to happen. Hyrox, I feel like it might happen.
Yeah, when they perceive it's a problem. It's a seller's market right now.
Yes. So, Dave, at the end of 2026, You think what ticket sales will just droop a little, or we won't sell out anymore? What is your prediction that
No, I
you're going
think
to? What are you on
you'll
the
see
record
things
saying?
slow. See things slow.
Wouldn't it be nice if an
It's not like
event
they're going to
sold
go from
out?
sellouts to having to cancel venues. I'm just saying that's where I think it'll peak and it'll start to taper off down.
Yeah, let's allow these races to sell out maybe 2 weeks after the tickets go on sale. Wouldn't that be nice? And any other race company would kill for those kind of numbers. Like, let's just get it to where normal people who feel like signing up can sign up. That would be great.
And or more competitors are coming that are going to look to take some of that money, because they're popping up all over fucking England. I see them every day in the United Kingdom. Like,
yeah, I don't know what's going on in the States, but I'd be all over. I know that, Deadly Dozen, if my Achilles wasn't giving me a hard time, I'd be jumping on that at the end of October. Like, we need to start supporting some of these other races.
For sure. Deadly Dozen, this LT Games is coming, we believe.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that one.
Too many stations?
No, it's just in a gym.
I got to take a better look at it.
Like a literal basketball court.
Yeah, I got to take a better look at it, because I'm all about the substance of the race. I don't care about the glitz and glamour. I want to take a better look.
It's going to be in the fucking Target Center. What are you talking about? It's not just a gym. It's massive.
Okay, the ones I've seen are just like in Lifetime, in Lifetime gyms.
I think they're gonna be. I don't know exactly yet. I don't know what's public about it yet. I know some stuff I can't speak about.
Okay.
But I do know that this first big one is going to happen apparently at the like Fit Insider just wrote this article. So this is what's public. Hang on, let's quickly look at this.
Okay. And the Target Center, where's that?
Minneapolis.
Oh, okay.
The Target Center is like the size of, what's your basketball arena called?
Mine?
Yeah.
Like the Thomas and Mack Center? It's not that's like where we don't have big ones yet.
Where do the Golden Knights play?
Oh, they play in oh shoot. Now you're gonna make me think about
It'll
that.
Be that size. It'll be that
okay.
size.
All right.
Probably
so a hockey
like
arena.
15 to 20,000 people.
Are you familiar with the T-Mobile Arena?
That's it. That's where the Knights play.
Okay. So that's where this thing is going to be, a part of it.
Okay.
Not obviously the whole thing, but a part of it.
Okay. Is it going to be pretty?
I'm sure they will have pretty swag and you can wear matching outfits.
If it's pretty and they've got a DJ.
Hang on one second. Where is...
All right. While you're doing that, and we're talking about little events, I wanted to thank Studio 3 Fitness in the UK, who randomly, upon like us talking about the HTX thing, tried their own version. They didn't even have the layout or anything. They just kind of gathered what they had heard on the podcasts and what they had seen in my videos and ran their own thing just to try it out. And they had a great time. So I sent them over like all the official rules and everything standard so they could do it that. But it was really cool. I was absolutely flabbergasted. I was totally flattered. It was really cool.
Look how hungry people are for stuff.
Yeah,
and that is a fun race.
Yeah.
Dave, you have simplified it. When you sent it to me, I had an option of no running 200 meters, 400 meters, 600 meters, or 800 meters. What have you simplified that
No
to?
running and 400 meters. So no running in 4K. And we was it 2 weeks? We ran 40 people through it.
Okay.
So
all right. That's really cool that they picked it up. That's what you posted some video of that, right?
Yeah. Well, I just shared theirs. They posted it and I just shared theirs.
Okay. So. And then are you going to send them patches?
I think I should. I'm going to talk to them a bit more, but I should. Yeah.
That's cool. Matt, we need to try it.
Sorry, I was looking at the Lifetime Target Center.
I figured you were still doing it. Yeah.
Okay. What have you found about this race?
So they have a Lifetime inside this place, inside the Target Center.
Okay.
And yes, it looks like a big basketball court, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You hang some pipe and drape, listen, every Hyrox is just inside some boring convention center and they make it look pretty. So
they need to make it look pretty.
This metrics, by the way, like I think they want to come over here. I think a lot of things are gonna come over here. We're just waiting for them.
What are some of the hallmarks of the LT games? Like, what are we?
Well,
what are
it's 17 stations. I can tell you that. Dave and I know that. And we were like, whoa, that's a lot of stations.
Okay. Yeah. Is there running in between?
I
not
don't
always.
Think ergs.
Yeah, I think there's ergs.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd have to go through. I was trying to find the message from them, but I can't find it right now. But I mean, I'm game. I'll give it a shot.
So it's just like one big workout.
That's what they all are. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Except ethics. Ethics is a little different.
Right.
Ethics actually changed their running. You now do around a track. You now run around the machines. That's the running. I think that's what I heard this year. What was the question about doing Dave's thing? Show your cool logo, Dave. I like your logo.
Yeah. Matt, you and I should try it. So
do
that we can support.
Like together or like separately?
Well, obviously we live on opposite ends of the country, but virtually we could compare.
Yeah, but you know me, I'm up for hopping on a plane and flying places.
It would be interesting. It'd be interesting. I'd be interested to see you go.
Is there a doubles version or no?
No, not yet. I'm trying to iron out the one version first.
Okay, what are the lightest weights that I can do?
For men, 35 pounds.
No, I'll do the women's light weights. I don't care.
35 pounds for men are the lightest ones. So 35 pounds.
35 pounds. Is that the same as Deadly's 35? Is that Deadly's strong? Is that 35? What's that?
I think it's probably heavier than Deadly.
Jesus Christ, Dave. Why are you trying to kill me?
We want to be that strong.
The point to me was, I mean, Deadly doesn't have, in my mind, has lighter weights, lots of very, very high reps, which is very cool for some people. And I think, I commented before, I think they have a good thing. So I wanted to kind of be a little bit different and provide a heavier side of it. Right. So even the lightweights are still heavy,
Okay. So
like Cheryl did the lightweights for the women and they're still that up. It's heavy.
And Matt, I'm looking, and most of the Deadly dozen stuff is a 35-pound weight for the men.
Is it a 35-pound? Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of it. Yeah.
Cheryl, did you win your age group?
Did I win my age group in what? The HTX?
Your home gym, yes.
My home gym. I was the only person doing it.
First
so
overall.
Yes.
Sounds like a yes.
Yes.
First overall. There you go.
Exactly. I wasn't running, so I used a 600-meter ski in between each thing, and I thought, oh, this won't be too bad, and it was awful. It's just
incidentally, that's what the people in the UK, they skied in between as well.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I would like to try the 400 meters.
All right. So if people skipped last week's episode, let's go through it, Dave. Let's go through the stations.
Okay, hold on. I even have to
just give me the stations first without the weights. Can we just do this? Just talk about the stations, and then we'll. Okay. I think it's a lot of information to process. Okay.
So your first station is burpees over the dumbbells. So you'll have two dumbbells in line with each other. You're going to do burpees over top of those.
Wait, why do I need two barbells?
Two dumbbells.
The entire workout is done.
The entire workout is done with the same two dumbbells.
Got it.
So all you need to do this in a gym, at home, at a track is two dumbbells. That's it.
Right. So even if you're a dumbbell, you can do this workout. I think that's what you should say.
And if you have, and the point was to make it cheap too. Like if you want to do this, it's cheap.
Right.
So you do burpees over the dumbbells.
Okay.
Then squats with the dumbbells in a rack position. So holding them up here, both dumbbells up on your shoulders in the front rack.
Okay.
Right. Alternating after that, single arm snatches. So from ground to overhead.
Okay.
Walking lunges.
Do I have to alternate every time?
For the dumbbells?
Yeah.
You mean the snatches? You know what? No, I don't care.
See, I don't think you ever should. And Deadly makes you do it. And I'm very upset about that because my left arm is weaker.
So the reason for me that I don't care about it is it's of zero advantage to do them all on one arm.
Right. So why do you care?
I shouldn't say that actually, because the switch does take some time. But I think it would still eat. So, I mean, maybe we'll look at that. That's something we should test out a bit. But ideally, you alternate it.
Okay.
But anyway, walking lunges, where you hold both dumbbells in the suitcase position or the farmer carry position.
Okay, where do I go? How far?
It's a set amount of reps.
You just said walking lunges.
Yeah.
So you can still count them.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Aren't you glad I'm back?
Yeah. After that, and I'm expecting a question on the renegade rows.
Okay, go ahead and explain that one.
Okay. So renegade row, picture yourself in a push-up or plank position with one hand on each dumbbell.
Okay.
Now you lower yourself like you would a push-up, chest touches the dumbbells.
Okay.
Then you do your push-up back up.
Okay.
And then you row the one
Oh,
dumbbell.
Jesus Christ, for fuck's sake. How many of those?
What's that?
How many of those?
Which weights are you using? 35s?
Yep.
30.
Does this count as one, or does two count as one?
No, that counts as one.
Each one counts as one.
So push myself up, then do that?
That's one. That is a standard exercise.
Yeah.
For who?
Movement.
Gym people.
Yeah.
I'll ask my wife if she has her people do them.
All right. Goblet surrenders are after that.
Okay.
So you hold one dumbbell in the goblet position, drop down to one knee, drop down to both knees, stand back up.
Okay. Just like in the Atlas, we do that for the Atlas, right?
Yep, except you don't have to hold it in the goblet position. Yeah.
Okay.
Then the next is a floor chest press. So essentially bench press, but on the floor.
Okay.
All right. Then dumbbell sit-ups with one dumbbell.
So I'm laying on the ground, then I do this?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
With my dumbbells, with my 35-pound dumbbells.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, one in each hand, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Then the dumbbell sit-ups, which you touch dumbbell behind your head, touch dumbbell between your legs.
Okay.
And then the last one is a hang, clean, and press. So both dumbbells have to drop below your waist, then come back up to the clean, and then press straight overhead.
Okay. So
which universally has been destroying everyone.
Okay. And so the weakest for the men is 35 pounds, and the lowest for the women
The
is what?
lightest for the men is 35.
The lightest for the men is
Hey, I'll own it. The weakest for the women is 20.
So if you do, think of it this way, as a lightweight, a middleweight, and a heavyweight.
Mm-hmm.
If you do the lightweight, it's 30 reps. If you do the middleweight, it's 20 reps. If you do the heavyweight, it's 10 reps.
You need to come up with like cool names for those three
I've been trying, and to be honest, it's just every time I come up with a different name or something, and Riley and I have discussed this a lot. In my mind, I keep going back to lightweight, middleweight, heavyweight, and then sets and reps, like the language that we actually use.
Yeah.
And so it's not catchy, it's not crazy, but it's just what we actually say. And
Yeah.
so I'm not sure. I haven't, like I said, these are things to iron out.
Right. But you also don't like your races to be pretty, and I do. So.
Yeah, I'm not about pretty. They do call me Ugly Dave for a reason.
I think we should come up with an unofficial. I think we can come up with an unofficial name for it, though. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah,
because I like. By the way, I like it, Dave. It does what it says on the tin, as they say in England.
Yep.
And I appreciate that and honor that, and it definitely is more your style. But I also think it'd be fun if it's like, oh yeah, man, I did the fucking double dipsy doodle version. That was fucking impossible. Whatever we come up with.
Yeah, well, we had it. So what we had it right now.
Strawberry, chocolate, vanilla. Who cares what they are? But it'd be fun, right?
Right now, we had it as Division 1, Division 2, Division 3. Like so.
Once again,
much like the college system, D1, D2, D3. That kind
so,
of
but
thing.
the heavy is D1, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's a good start.
I don't mind that. I don't mind
And
that.
it went with that too because D1 was 10 reps, D2 was 20 reps, D3 was 30 reps.
I will see your Division 1, Division 2 and raise you a labor.
I don't mind I think for Deadly Dozen and for the UK, the labor thing has always worked for me. I've always been okay with that.
Listen, I bought into labors. I won't buy into journeys. The problem is, I think, personally, you are going to lose some American audience. Now, maybe you can convert them over, but like, for example, it was the latest Chicago or the latest New York. They put labor and they put the OU version. I'm like, well, now you're really going to fuck some Americans up. You know what I mean? Like
they just need to lean into it. Need to use blimey and I don't know.
Maybe that's the way to do it. Like double and triple down on it.
Make it super British.
I think you talk to some people, at a gym down the street from here, they'll be like, "What the fuck's a labor? That's not even how you spell it." You know what I mean? Like, I said, I like labors. I'm not a fan of journeys.
Yeah, and I can see that. And that's kind of the thing. For me, where I'm stuck is okay. We give these things their name, and you try to make a catch on, but in reality, people are just going to call it what they're going to call it. Right.
Yeah, until it becomes what it is.
Yeah. So
I think we should lean into the Canadian.
There we go.
There's got to be something.
I think that would be the way to do it, right? What I don't know. Is there anything? Is there what do you?
Well,
How
we did
about?
have we had an interesting ending to our mass test with the 40 people. Was we had mimosas, so I'm not sure that that's something that catches.
Right. Well, could you? I mean, I guess like if you could figure out a way to call it a double double.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We could give out poutine at the end.
Sure. So,
Shot
Dave,
of maple syrup to start.
when you and I began talking on this a version of the show like 2 years ago, you were like, "Hey, I want to do something." Then you were like, "Boy, is this fucking hard."
Yeah.
And laws and finances, and it's not as easy as I thought, and fuck that shit. So now you seem to be back on. I think I actually want to do this thing, or do you want to just keep it fun and tell people to do it at a gym? What are your thoughts? And again, no pressure, just asking.
So
Generically.
it just kind of happened. Honestly, this was something that I kind of was just, and I don't know if you guys do this or maybe me or whatever. I can't remember if I was just sitting in bed typing away or if I was in the car just driving, coming up with ideas, and it just kind of flowed out. And it was like, well, what the fuck do I do with this? Because I didn't know what it was. Is it a workout? Is it an event? Is it this? Is it that? I don't know. To be perfectly honest, as like a mass participation event, it's pretty limited because you can only go so big because you need a judge for every person. And in the process of that, I'm okay with that. Because I'm looking, if I am going to do something with it, it would be something different. And right now, my concept is to have any other thing. I mean, and Matt, you'd appreciate this. If I do go through all the hassle, how do you actually make any money from it?
Right.
Like, how do you make it worth your while? Right.
Right.
So, I mean, right now I'm thinking, and this is an odd spot to brainstorm, but I'm like, okay, so gyms can host it, right? You get them the patches, you get them stuff, and then you get them on a leaderboard. And then let's just say it's a $50 event. They keep $40. We get $10. We go from there. Right.
Right.
And then something like that. And then you can go to eventually a full scale event, which probably max would probably have about, to put 100 people through would probably be as big as you could get. Doing it in a very pretty organized way. If you just want to slam people through with no judges, I mean, we put 40 people through in less than 2 hours.
Right.
So, but yeah, so I mean, it is limited that way, but I do have some ideas to progress, but I need
All right.
to.
Well, I'm just spitballing here, right? Just spitballing. If you kept it kind of like, what if you just treated it like a virtual race? Like, you want to sign up for this thing, sign up, and we'll mail you a patch. Although, I guess you'd probably want, and like, we'll keep track of a leaderboard, but we're not going to look at your submissions. Or you could say like, if your gym wants to do it, minimum 25 patches, and just order them from me, and then list your times, like, you know what I'm saying? Because that's like all a virtual race is, really.
Yeah. And so that was kind of along my lines, right? So thought that if we kept it really simple, any gym could host at any time.
Right.
They don't need to book. They don't need to do anything crazy. They just host whenever they want.
I could do it in my backyard because I have 25-pound dumbbells.
So what I was thinking though is if you host it at a gym, right, and you pay whatever you pay there, great. But I was also thinking that for example, if we have a leaderboard and we do have a final event and you want to qualify, but there's no gym hosting around you, that you can do it virtually yourself. However, that process is going to cost more because we're going to have to judge it online.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
So then that becomes more expensive.
Right.
Because in a way, to me, does two things. One, it makes the gym events more appealing because they're half the price. But it also doesn't exclude anybody because anybody could just run to a track any day they want and do it.
Right.
So these are just some, again.
So wait a minute. Are we running in between?
Yeah, the 400 meters are running in between, or you can do zero running in between. Either or.
Zero, and the zero is just like the strong or whatever.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was calling one the 4K and the other 0.0.
Okay. I think I would take the running in between. That sounds a lot more doable.
It allows you to recover, and actually, yes, I find it easier. And then for time wise, what we noticed is for the no running, most people are done in under 25 minutes. For the running, most people would be done in under 55 minutes.
Right. Well, first thing you got to do is,
and that's like most people. Like, for example, my time was 32. So,
Well, you're a super fit. You're a super fit person.
And I did the D1, so it's less reps. So if you can go unbroken on that, you go quicker.
And what's the weight on D1? Isn't it like 70s?
70 pounds in each hand, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Jesus
crazy.
Christ.
I know, he's so strong.
Yeah. It's it adds up. I mean, the lunges take a lot out of you, and then those clean presses at the end are murder. And a lot of people have found, to my surprise, because for me it's the easiest one. The floor press hits a lot of people hard
because it's so late in there in the sequence that I thought the floor press was not going to be a big deal, and it ended up being an extremely big deal.
Is this listed on your Instagram page? If people
No, not yet. No.
He's keeping it. I'm surprised he gave the whole thing today. I thought
it's kind of the point is it's not really doesn't need to be a secret because to me, for what I'm doing, if I do this, the more people try it just on their own, the better off it is. Because then they're like, okay, because I know it's a bugger of a workout. I know it hurts like hell.
Right. It does.
I know the concept works. It's just how does it become a business? That's the harder part.
Well, and I think, just listening to you guys talk, I mean, that's what's highlighting this. This hybrid racing is incredibly complex. And that's why there aren't a lot of them out there to have it be something that makes money. I mean, Matt, you just posted something about what the hybrid games, things aren't going as well as we were hoping. I was looking at that format, loving that, thinking that would be a really interesting race to do.
I like that format too, but the only problem I had with it is so much like Hyrox.
Sure. I mean, yes.
Like the same move, same things. Like there's so much
wall balls and lunges. Yeah. I mean, for sure. And I think there is something to be said. I mean, Dave, you and I have gone back and forth about other things that we could do. I would love to see a rope climb in a hybrid race. I would love to see, some things like that. And you can see where the logistics might be tough for some of those things. But it just seems like even though they have come up with a format that I'm intrigued by because of the run at the end, because of the assault bike early on that kind of smokes you, like there are a number of things that really make it really, really great. And a lot of, I think would be really, really great to try, but they're having a hard time clearly, getting it put together so that we can see that become the juggernaut that we need it to be to give us options for other than Hyrox. It's just tough.
It's expensive.
It is. It's equipment, it's judging, it's all the stuff because the judging's easier when you do distance instead of reps, but the reps make so much more sense in so many ways.
But then you need space.
Right. So it's one or the other.
It's expensive.
Like so easy to throw a 5K on any random road, right? Or even a marathon, you just find a route. But this is just a lot, right? This is just a lot.
I still think in terms of if you were launching an obstacle race, you need a piece of land. You do need to build the obstacles. You need insurance. You need a lot of things. I'm still quite shocked that we don't have more competition, but who knows what's lurking in the distance.
But if you think about price-wise, so right, like from concept to business, and you're right, OCR is very expensive because you need the land, you need to build, you need to do them. So let's say your average obstacle costs $5,000 to $10,000 to build for a decent OCR, right? Okay. And that's your one shot deal. If you're thinking about one zone or one station in, say, even Deca, where you got 14 stations, so you're looking at over $1,000 just for each rower.
Right.
And then you have 10 stations. Now, not all of them are going to be that expensive, but it's to get off the ground with something as ambitious as the hybrid games, because they use a lot of machines. Mm-hmm. It's very expensive. And then you're not even counting the cost of the venue yet, or the advertising, or all the other stuff.
I wasn't sure if I was gonna talk about this on the show, but I know there are people who probably saw the post that we did, and I will say that I hear an awful lot of things, right? People message me about an awful lot of things. Some are interesting, some are not interesting, some are things I know, some are things I don't know. And I will say that I did hear from more than one person that some judges were not paid on time. Then I saw a post of a woman who said she was not paid for a lot of things. So I put the word out, and I am currently doing my due diligence and what I think one would call journalism. I've heard from people who love this guy, top man, don't know why people are saying bad things about him, and people who are saying not such a great guy and promised certain things and didn't get other things. So this is all alleged. I have been sued before. I do not want to be sued again. But I will be reporting what I hear. And so stay tuned and follow HFM when I release more information.
Well, you saw that thing about Michael Johnson's track thing that he's done, right?
I sent it to you, Dave, because I said, Dave,
I know.
I'm so glad you said this. I'm so glad you said this. Dave, you were so pro, right? You were so pro on WFP. And I was like, hey, just like any sports league, could go either way, could last one season, could be great. And you're like, but they've got the money, they've got the athletes. Mm-hmm. So tell me the difference between Grand Slam, which has already not paid its athlete and cut its first season early. Tell me what the difference is.
The biggest difference that I would go by is WFP is offering their athletes like 30 grand.
Okay.
Whereas the track was 13 million in money owed.
30 grand times how many?
Being the big difference.
Well, 30 grand times how many athletes? They got all these contracts, right?
30. No. 40 athletes.
40 athletes times 30 grand is what, Cheryl Snow?
What? You're asking me to do math?
40,000.
No, 40 athletes, 30,000.
40 athletes divided into 30,000, right?
4 times 3, right?
Okay, that's 1.2 million. Okay, but that's bottom numbers. We think some of the other athletes got more, plus putting on the events, plus payouts, plus live stream. Like, it's not easy. I'm saying
it's still expensive. I'm just saying scale being the biggest difference.
I'm saying that it's very, very hard. And again, 100%. I do not wish WFP to fail. I hope it works. I hope that CrossFit and WFP both can exist in a world where functional fitness competitions, thrive. Great.
And I hope CrossFit cleans house and gets bought out, or gets bought out and cleans house.
What about WFP?
Well, they're kind of a new house. They just cleaned out. I love, me, I'm a CrossFit fan, right? But I still am not, I don't like the management currently involved.
Right. So by the way, it's still unclear though, like none of the athletes are really, I think only one athlete has come forward. I think they're all in the, if I say anything, I might not get paid.
And we're talking about hybrid race, right?
No, I'm talking about the track and field thing.
Oh, okay.
And by the way, I did hear from people who hadn't been paid, who then got paid last night or today. I'm guessing because that woman posted that people weren't getting paid. So I think that helped. But anyway, more to come on my reporting on that. But no, the world, what's it called? What's the track and field one called?
The World Fit. Oh, the track. I have no idea. I can't remember.
Grand Slam track.
I just know Michael Johnson.
Big names, big sponsors, and their last event went from a 2-day event to a 1-day event, and they canceled the last event, and then said, "There's no problem. Everything's great. It's going exactly how we thought. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to see here." And then some athletes have not been paid yet. So, but again, I think it's too soon for them to say much. But again, it just goes to show that it was getting eyeballs. It's like, hey, we're growing this thing. We've given people a reason to give a shit about track and field besides the Olympics. Everything looked good, but it's real hard. It's hard to then deliver. So you better not overpromise and underdeliver. That was what that was.
I think that's 100% the big thing right there is just don't bite off more than you can chew.
Right. But people love to, this idea of fake it till you make it has gone to the, these levels that are not okay. Like there's a way to do that, and that's what's the word? That's still morally okay, and then there's a way that's just like, okay, well now you've lied and you're frauding people.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, in my mind, fake it till you make it is fine for a lot of things, but not when you're dealing with other people's money.
Right.
Well, and Dave, I listened to your podcast about the enhanced games, you and Bethany talking about that, which I thought was really, really interesting because she's got a good take on it. And you know, a lot of the talk is that they're paying so much money that there would be athletes who would go ahead and do the enhanced games just because of the money that's being promised. But if they can't deliver, then they're not just losing money.
It'll be a one and done.
Like that's going to basically be a career ender. I don't know if you want to trust these guys if that's what the current mode of operating is.
Yeah, and I bet you that's what a lot of them are waiting to see, is if they follow through with what they're doing this time, and then it'll be okay. They did it once, and they're doing it again. Maybe I say
like year one, who's going to show up? Nobody smart.
They made an awful big deal about this one swimming thing they did. They made it seem like they sent a guy to the moon.
Yeah.
I don't know. They definitely made a difference in the way he looked.
Well, good for him.
He was pretty big.
Yeah. So anyway, but if they're not actually going to pay people, I think that's going to make it pretty scandalous.
Listen,
that'll be a Netflix documentary. If
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Listen, they still have to put on an event other than this one day thing. Like they still have to put on the games. They said what, 3 sports, Dave? They're going to do?
Yeah, I think it was aquatics, athletics. So basically, running, aquatics, and lifting.
Mm-hmm. Pretty simple. First go around.
Right. And is it in Vegas?
It's at Resorts World.
Sin City. Where else would you put it?
Interestingly enough, Resorts World isn't doing well financially, so I don't know if it's going to be around when they actually have it going. So we'll see.
Will you go as my journalist on the spot journalist, Cheryl?
How would I not have to just show up to just take a look? I don't know if I could be Matt B. Davis, but I could at least watch.
No one is, okay? But you can show up with your cell phone, take some photos. You don't. I don't want to even make you ask tough questions. Just show up and take a few videos.
I think it's better if you ask stupid questions. Tough questions are overrated. Ask like ones that make you seem completely lost.
Yeah, maybe we could try that. But I'll pop down there for sure.
Like get in there.
Did we talk about this? Didn't we say there was a concert the same day, or what did we learn about this?
I don't remember. That was a long time ago.
Vegas, isn't there
always stuff? Yeah, you said there was somebody playing a concert during that time too. There always is. It's Vegas.
I know, but I wanna. It's May 21st and 24th, 2026. It's Memorial Day weekend.
Yes.
4 swimmings, 3 tracks, and then snatch, clean, and jerk. Dave, I think you should compete. Start juicing.
Doesn't sound like he needs to.
Makes you think I'm not.
So, boy, is that a long way away. I'm going to give it a 30% chance of happening. And as we get closer and closer, the less we hear, the more, because they've already moved it a few times.
Yeah, I went with 50.
In 23, they said 24. In 24, they said 25, and now they're saying 26. So, like, right now I give it 30.
This stuff is hard to put on.
How do you think that's a good move or a bad move, Memorial Day weekend? Is Memorial Day weekend usually good or bad in Vegas? Isn't everybody at Havasu Memorial Day weekend?
No, a lot of people come in for the 3-day weekend. Of course, I mean, half of LA is here. So, it'll be packed. Usually is.
Okay. Should they make Murph an event in it?
That would be interesting.
And we know a lot of juiced people do Murph anyways. So.
Might as well get some money for it or promise some money.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, look, I admire anybody who's trying to put these things on. It would be great if somebody actually stuck the landing.
Yeah.
Also, is there any proof they gave this guy $1 million? Because they said they gave this guy $1 million, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, hard to know.
He has not said they haven't, so that's a good sign.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have given him $250 and said, "Listen, we're going to tell people it's $1 million."
No, if anybody was online saying they gave me $1 million and they didn't, I'd be online going, "No, you fucking didn't."
Well, that's you, Dave. But I'm saying they could have been like, "Hey, listen, it's $250 now, and probably $1 million next year, and just for $1 million, we're gonna." Or like the contract was like $1 million, but I don't know. Right. I'm far from convinced this thing is happening.
Right. Well, at any rate, it seems like a lot of people have a lot of good ideas. Not that that's necessarily a good idea, but there are a lot of good ideas out there. Hard to get them to go.
Well, what's interesting though is since Hyrox did take the training wheels off, and anyone can do a sim as long as they call it a sim. I have seen a large increase in those, and maybe that's what'll happen. Maybe there won't be a lot of national providers, but there will be people who do one and it goes really well, and they're like, well, shit, I can do 3 or 4 of these a year, and there's just a bunch of those.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. As
That'd be
long as they
fine.
keep the price point good. You start overdoing that price point, and people just be like, screw it.
What would you expect to pay for a full sim? Like, it's not at Hyrox, but it's at a track or a something, and it's a full sim. What would you expect to pay?
Me?
Less than Hyrox?
Yeah, big time.
Yes.
Yeah, because like the thing you're missing out is like a global leaderboard, a championship to advance to. The production value is not going to be the same. So for me, it would be $100 Canadian. Would be right around where I would think it'd be right.
Okay, how much is that? What do you call it in America?
American?
Yes.
Probably 75, 80, something like that.
Okay. What should
Actually,
I pay?
it might be less. It might be a 65, 75.
Okay, here is a website called hybridathleteclub.com, Hyrox Simulation Finder. This is interesting. These are mostly in England, and these are okay. Here's what. Ooh, this is interesting. Look at this. Holy shit. Look at this.
Do you need to share this with the people, Matt?
I do. This is kind of, I don't know. Listen, we were going to do, Hybrid Fitness Media, the voice of hybrid fitness, was going to do a calendar, but for the same reason I never fucking did an OCR calendar. I've run into the same thing again. It's really hard to do, and it's really hard to keep populated. And I was going to charge gyms, and that was kind of working. Some gyms were paying me like, hey, $25 a listing. And it's a fucking full-time job I don't have time to do. But this website, which I'm about to share with the listeners and the viewers, are you ready?
Yeah.
Tell me if you can see this page. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yep.
So without clicking to see if these are full sims, you can see that they range. This one's only 30 pounds. That's about $50. This one's 30 to 50 pounds, right? And then look at this one down here. This one's 150 Australian dollars. I think that's $100. And this one's 70 US dollars. RX Fit Hillbilly Hyrox. Great logo.
All right. I would do that because I would want that patch. It looks like a full sim.
Potato sack lunges.
What?
Get out. Oh, sign me up.
Farmer bucket carry.
Look at this. Look at this.
I love it.
Dude.
So they put it's a hillbilly Hyrox.
Does anybody know these people?
Will be horrible.
Does anybody know these people? Can anybody please contact me? RX Fit Hillbilly Hyrox. Dope ass logo.
Is that Utah?
Yeah, it's in Mill Creek, Utah.
Wow.
I love it.
But yeah, you can see these are popping up everywhere. So yeah, can we just ditch the fucking PFT, the useless PFT?
Yeah, just let people come up with their own take on it. I think it's a great idea.
God, there's way more than I thought. They're still mostly UK. No, here's a sim in Van Nuys, California.
Okay.
Delta One. And like, we've never heard of these people. True Fit Boot Camp. Anybody heard of this place?
Nope.
And then they're selling trainings and whatnot. But this website is clearly like, what do you call it? Scraping the internet and finding these.
Yeah.
That's within a 50-mile radius. That seems wrong.
Let's see what's in 50 miles of Atlanta. What do you think? Nothing,
Okay.
probably, right? Nothing.
Not yet. I bet there's a ton of stuff. People just don't know to put it on here.
Right? 100?
Okay.
101? 102? 250? This is kind of fascinating. Oh, here we go.
Your city.
But again, just a PFT. So can we ditch the PFT?
I like the PFT.
Boo.
Yeah, but there are no potato sacks at a PFT.
There's no leaderboard. There's no judging. It's just a workout. It's just come on.
Most of these are going to be the same. They're just longer.
Oh, but then you just give them a little podium and you get the fun patches because you went to the unique Hyrox event. And I just think that seems so fun.
Yeah.
Super fun.
Yeah. I know that, like, I'm a fan of the PFT. Even still, I think the timeline's good for it. It's quick, it's simple, it's approachable, and you need one piece of equipment. Like, you need a rower.
That's right up your alley.
It's easy for gyms to put on, right? So
yeah.
All right.
Not as easy as HTX.
No. Just
you're supposed to hold up your logo, Dave. Where's your logo?
I don't have it. Where is it?
Man, it's really good. The patch is really good.
Can I share it? I have it.
Yeah, if you got it. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I sent it to you.
Hang on.
We need a name for the little dumbbell skull. We need the name for the guy.
I can put my creative team on that. I can put my creative team on a lot of these things. They come up with good stuff.
I have a creative team, but it's just one woman.
Yeah. No, it's like my kids are the most creative people. They sort of work in that. Anyway,
this is the flag.
Good. Well, that was a potential podium flag, yeah.
Potential flag.
Right.
So here's a video of me that I sent you guys of me talking.
Excellent.
Now I can't. Did you send it in text?
Probably would have been, I don't know. I can send it in text right now.
He showed it last week.
It says hybrid test, pick your poison.
Yeah.
And I really like that. And then it looks like are these combs right here, like to comb my hair? Is that what those are?
No, it's his teeth.
It's actually that. If you turn it sideways, that's a dumbbell.
It's a dumbbell that's a skull.
So if you look at the other one, the full one where it says HTX completely, it's just a sideways dumbbell.
Okay, I just had a brainstorm. Just had an idea. I come up with the best ideas in fitness.
A lot of people are saying.
For our pick your poison for the different levels, what if it's like level 1 is arsenic, level 2 is another poison?
Cyanide.
What do you think? Cyanide, yes.
Yeah.
DDT.
Right? Let's ask chat.
There you go.
Can you rank these poisons for me? Are you sending the logo or not?
It's on your text. It's like the last text I sent you.
Okay, hang on. We're going to see what poisons chat says.
You know, arsenic, cyanide, and I think, those are the most popular ones. What's the one they used in Breaking Bad?
Oh,
ricin.
Ricin.
Yeah, people don't really think about that as a poison, right?
No, I don't know.
The lightest weight should be something that's just really bad for you.
No, smoking?
Yeah, like tobacco.
This might not be the best road we're down.
Sorry, Chad is confused. I'm smacking it around.
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I think it crushed it in the first one. You ready?
Okay.
This is fucking amazing. Level 1, nightshade. Level 2, hemlock. Level 3, cyanide. It's pretty amazing.
They're good poisons.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that.
Pretty good. Good.
Because it's kind of dark. It's kind of old school. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna steal your idea.
Go for it. It's kind of publicly mine now,
though. You just sent it to me, you said?
The logo should be in regular text.
In regular text?
Yeah.
I don't have it. I'm looking in regular text.
Yeah.
Is the line doing this? Is it still going through?
Yeah, it should be like an HTX. Look, the little skull dude dumbbell would be sideways.
Yeah, I got no text from you, Dave.
Hold on, I will.
Do you know multiple mats? Oh, here it is. Sorry, here it is. You sent it to me before.
Yeah.
Right. And that's like, right. See the little combs? Use those combs to comb your hair. That's what those are.
Have you even seen a dumbbell?
Or a skull?
I have a few in my backyard. They're very rusty.
Take a look at them. They'll have knurling on them, to be honest. A few skulls in your backyard, huh?
I think my neighbor does. I think my neighbor legitimately has people he's buried in his backyard.
Nice.
All right, guys. Let's wrap it up.
Okay.
Anything else?
Nah.
All right.
Things are good. Matt, if you want to do that workout, let's talk.
I'll send you a patch.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it with. I'm gonna do the junior baby version with 25s. Maybe I don't know if I'm ready for 35s.
We did have a young guy do that.
Yeah, I had one of my friends. He was having shoulder problems. He did 20s, and it was properly good.
Yeah. All right. Good talk, everybody.
Take care.
Thanks.